like a Hellcat.
Hello and welcome back to the channel where once again it's time for another review, and today we have got some Sega Dreamcast action in the form of the wild and wacky arcade game Crazy Taxi, which saw a release in the PAL region of February 2000 after its initial arcade release the previous year in 1999. So once the main menu comes around, you'll see you've got arcade mode, original mode, crazy box, options, records, and saving and loading data. Heading into options, you've got your standard settings, changing the difficulty, changing the time, traffic difficulty, audio settings, that kind of stuff. All of your straightforward options. So in terms of main modes, you've got arcade or original. Both of them give you the same options, but they are a different locational setting. Heading into the character selection screen, you'll see you've got 4 characters. You've got Axel, you've got BD Joe, you've got Gina, and you have Gus.
Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go!
So the setup for Crazy Taxi is really straightforward. Drive around the city, picking up passengers, taking them to their destinations, trying to earn as much as you can in the form of tips on the way, getting as much money as you can in the time limit to get yourself a final grade overall. So starting with visuals first, and Crazy Taxi is a really sharp, bright, colourful, vivid game, and it throws everything around at such a frenetic pace. Even the visual aspect of the game is exciting just because of the sheer speed that everything is going around at. Now, if you come in here expecting the very best quality of visuals on the system, you're not going to get them. The character models do not compare with something like Soul Calibur, but you have to think you've got a whole city here that you are driving around. For the point of time that it came out at the start of 2000, this game is really, really impressive. Yes, there's a little bit of pop-up in the distance in some places, but it's not terrible. It doesn't ruin the game at all. And overall, Crazy Taxi is a really exciting, really crazy looking game through and through.
Let's go!
Right on!
Yeah!
Now, moving on to the sound effects and music of Crazy Taxi, and this quite possibly is the game's strongest area because it's got licensed music from The Offspring and Bad Religion. Now, I'm not a fan of those, but in terms of music for this game, the tracks that are on here are absolutely incredible. They give you the urge and this drive to whiz around the city with so much adrenaline and excitement. I couldn't think of any songs that are more befitting of Crazy Taxi than the ones on these games. Now, the downside is because it's licensed music, I can't actually give you any samples this week because, of course, I'll get copyright strikes against those, which is a shame. In terms of sound effects, everything here is kind of wacky, over the top. All the voiceovers are absolutely brilliant. They suit the characters so well. Even the customers screaming and yelling at you that you're an idiot, that you're a terrible driver, all that kind of stuff fits in the game brilliantly. So in terms of sound effects and music overall, I cannot say a bad thing about Crazy Taxi whatsoever.
Great driver!
So moving on to the gameplay next, and Crazy Taxi delivers exactly what I would want from an arcade-style driving game like this. Non-stop thrills and excitement from the moment you start driving till the second that your timer runs out and you get an overall score. It really is just fun, excitement, non-stop drama, craziness from the moment the timer starts. And like I said before, the concept of the game is really simple. Pick up passengers, take them to their destinations whilst trying to get as many tips as you can in the process. Earn as much money as possible in your time limit and get an overall grade. And whilst you're driving around, you can pull off a few other little bits to help you along the way. You've got crazy boosts, you've got crazy drifts, you can jump over the cars, and these customers want you to do as much wacky stuff as you can because they will give you tips for the more dangerous you drive, as long as you don't actually crash into stuff. These passengers are absolute thrill seekers. They are pretty much bonkers in all fairness. But if you do crash into stuff, they will let you know what they think of you.
Would you pay more attention?
So moving on to content and lifespan next, and you've got 4 characters to select from. You've got arcade and original mode as the main modes of play. They're 2 different locations to drive around. You can use 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or the arcade rule, which is my personal favorite, where you need to keep picking up passengers to get time added on and to go as long as you can before you get your final grade. I find this way is probably the most exciting an intense way to play the game, in all fairness. As well as that, you've got crazy box mode added over the arcade original, where you've got loads of little mini games to do and you can unlock other ones. So this gives the game a bit more content and variety. Now, as well as that, I think Sega have learnt their lesson here from games that came out on the Sega Saturn, which had such minimalistic content. They probably even weren't worth the full price tags that they had when they came out. There's enough here added over the arcade original to make it feel like a full fleshed out game that would have been worth the full price tag when it came out. I mean, when I originally got Crazy Taxi, I loved it then. I thought it was an amazing game. I still feel it is fun to play now. Now, it's not the kind of game you're going to play for an hour or 2 hours in one go. It's 15-20 minutes, pick up and play, excitement and thrills, and then you'll probably put it down. You might not play it for a few months, but then when you pick it up and play it again, it's still just as fun. And based on that, it's still fun to play now. It's still really exciting to play now. So in terms of its content and lifespan, it delivers exactly what it needs to do. Short bursts of thrills and excitement.
I told you so.
So that leaves us with our final question. Is Crazy Taxi still worth playing today? And without a doubt, the answer is a resounding yes, because Crazy Taxi is just as much fun now as it was on its original release 24 years ago. And that is an amazing thing to say. And I do feel quite a lot of Dreamcast games are actually like that. So many of them seem to still be just as playable as fun now as they were back then. Now, I don't have a Dreamcast top 10 at the moment. I've only covered 3 games on the Dreamcast, but I may well cover some more in the coming weeks, and then we can start figuring out how they're going to rank up in a Sega Dreamcast top 10. I was going to say a Sega Saturn top 10 then. But like always, I want to know your thoughts on Crazy Taxi down below. Like always, these are just my opinions and mine alone. I think Crazy Taxi is still a fantastic game to play on the Dreamcast. I do feel it's better on the Dreamcast than the other formats it's been released on. But like I said, that's only my opinion. Let me know your thoughts down below on Crazy Taxi. And like always, I'll be back in the near future with another review. Goodbye for now.
Seriously?
Take it easy.